CEO and president of Synterex. We help solve problems in healthcare using AI and our agile methodology.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Hudson. I'm CEO of Site, Search, and Select. We source, and secure, and contract hotels and venues globally for our clients to plan their meetings and events. We're in our 32nd year, and last year we just had a milestone of 6,000 events. And one fun fact is we have a wonderful pool of meeting and event suppliers here at DA4S, but Site Search and Select does have the distinction of being the only company within DA4S that specifically focuses in on just the venue sourcing and contracting.
Let's keep throwing in a little humble brag, okay?
Can't help myself.
But so let's dig in a little bit here, right? So this story goes beyond your typical supplier to supplier relationship, and it shows an example. And I'm getting ahead of myself just because I love the story, but it shows an example of leveraging your network to go beyond, right? So Jeanette, first let's take a step back and let's start to explain why we're here talking about this. So workplace, well, I'll let you say it. Tell us a little bit about the nonprofit that you're working with.
I'd love to. So the nonprofit is called Workplace Ninjas US. And so this is an IT community that's focused on real-world learning and peer connections with a mission to bring more voices into the IT space, including early career professionals. And so our CTO, Jeanette Towles, who the same last name is no accident, I happen to be also married to him. And he also works with us at Synterex as our CTO. He started this venue with the observation that there really needed to be more voices coming to the table to solve these problems that we face in tech and to make sure that the future of that industry is sustainable in terms of having new talent come in. And so this is a venue that we actively support and sponsor at Synterex due to its mission alignment with our ESG goals and our eco-beta goals and at Synterex.
And so, Michael, where do you come into the story?
Yeah, the start of my story, Will, with Jeanette is 5 years ago. I was in the inaugural cohort along with Jeanette and a number of other people in this room for the Berg Drexel Advanced Leadership Program. Yes. And I think being the first year coming right out of COVID in 2021, it was a little bit more isolating for us all. So with having a nice, wonderful group of professional folks, they just latched straight up as we did. And I think a quick cohort connection with Jeanette really turned into a good, strong, professional relationship. And then all of a sudden, the magic happens throughout the years as we're meeting at DA4S and some other industry events. All of a sudden in December, I get a call from senior management with Synterex and saying, Michael, we really need your help. We are starting this nonprofit, Synterex, and we need to buy out a full hotel and probably take more space at other hotels, and we need your help. So they decided they wanted to have the program in Q1 27 in Scottsdale, Arizona. So with buying out a hotel versus just taking a block of space and bedrooms is a little bit, there's many other nuances with that. So with also being a nonprofit, while we try to save the most money that we can with every client, whether it's a commercial client or nonprofit, we actually pulled in favors from the city government of Scottsdale with finding permits to run some of their events outside, like a 5K race. So we put the client in touch with both all of our contacts in city government. We also, with the destination marketing organization of Scottsdale, we have an incentive program that they get rebates back, which will help their bottom line. We also were able to come up with a complimentary airfare for the stakeholders at Synterex to come out and see the property.
Can I get some complimentary here? Okay.
Yeah, I can take it Newark to Atlantic City. But also, what we
That's all I later.
Oh, okay. I'll give you 3 provider points for that too. Double points, maybe.
But yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But also what we brought to the table is we were able to transform, and I say past tense because the program is going to be on January 27th, but while we're out there for the site visit this past January, we're able to come up with wonderful creative ideas for him to transform that entire lobby into a whole trade show area. He wanted to do a podcast. There's beautiful garden areas that we figured out how we set up his podcast out there, and it's just going to be a cost savings that we just rolled in with our relationship with the city, with the destination marketing, and also with Market Grows, which the hotel is the hotel company that runs the Scott Resort and Hotel. So we've got a tremendous amount of extra value adds that's really going to impact the bottom line. So they get concentrating on the Revision Road heads.
So it sounds like not only did he provide help, but you went in deep, right? It sounds like, I mean, just the things that you're talking about, I would have never even thought about, right? That would need to be done. And I can imagine, so tell us a little bit about what's happening behind the scenes at the nonprofit where you called out for help and now you're getting some response, but what's happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, so for any of you who've met John, you already know this, but he's basically the opposite of me. So super energetic, constantly pacing around the room. And so
Typical spouse relationship, right?
Yeah, on the phone all the time. And so he's pacing around on the phone as usual. But I'm hearing him, talk about hotel stuff and express frustrations about certain things, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what is the CTO doing event planning? Like, and I started thinking about who I had in my Rolodex who would be aligned with this mission, who could help solve some of these issues that were coming up. And Michael immediately came to mind, and they had also actually already met at, I think it was the DA4S meeting at the disability.
Yeah, I had sponsored the DA4S event at Disability and at the whole senior team.
Yeah, so.
Oh, by the way, don't miss out on those opportunities. DA4S travels. So we go to other conferences and have meetups at other conferences, another opportunity to strike in the network.
And I will be sponsoring the Disability and DA4S meetup too, so
that's two humble brags up on the stage.
It's okay.
To be well.
I took advantage of those, and so I had mentioned it a few times, as does happen with spouses sometimes. So I started laying the seeds, and I think by the second or third time that I mentioned that, he was like, "Yeah, this would be great." And the two of them connected, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's where the magic really started to happen. And I think the moral of this story is just, talk about all of your connections, whether they're in your immediate space or not. And something that I would always recommend is put your money where your mouth is, and actually take that step with that supplier that you keep where you think you could work together, and start the relationship. This morning I spoke to a good supplier partner, and I'm going to come up with 2 clients that I'm going to introduce her to and see if we can all partner together. And I think if we're able to take that first step, and that's how it really creates wonderful value and some connections and some business.
So so our time is coming to an end here, but I think most important to close with a message of the fact that you went beyond your usual day-to-day networking and coming here to search out corporates or coming here to look for your typical supplier partners. You just focused on, what's my network here? How can I leverage it? How can I build upon that? I think that's awesome. And I think that just tells the story here that everybody, as you're engaging, I know it's easy to just kind of sit around coffee and somebody walks up to you and they're, they're manufacturing and doing direct materials and you're doing staffing and you're like, oh yeah, great to meet you, but I'll talk to you later. No, get to know them. You don't know who they know. You don't know who else is in their network that you can tap into for anything, even nonprofit support.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect case of that, and an example where we were able to do good while we were doing well as a business. So, leveraging your network to do that is always going to be great, and our story will continue. So for anybody who's interested in the details, you can take a look at workplaceninjas.us/sponsors or follow either one of us on social media to find out more.
Awesome. She's got your feet on that one. So.
I copied that.
So on that note, we'll close the session, but thank you both. This is awesome. And yes, please check out Workplace Ninjas and learn more.
Awesome kid.